announced, it is secretly changed. Whether Epic Games got in trouble or fans hated an update, the stories behind these are incredible. So since Chapter 2, bounty hunting allowed you to eliminate a target and earn a little gold on the side. Eventually this would become a job board, but in the Greek season, Epic changed it once again. Now they were a briefing station that rewards you for tasks. You needed to finish the mission within a time limit, and in return, you get things like supply drops, vehicles, or loot. Well, in the final weeks of the season, they did a complete 180. Shadow briefings no longer have bounties in them, removing the whole feature, while Epic considers a fresh take on this objective. But in February, the devs pushed a secret update removing the item shop timer. Yeah, something that has been there for half a decade just vanished overnight. Because of this, players were confused, wondering if they're staring at the latest item shop or one that's about to reset. Fans had no idea why Epic would do this. It made no sense. Ironically, the timer was replaced by Fishstick scratching his head. I guess he was just as confused until everything began to make sense 2 months later. The Netherlands dropped $1 million fine on Epic Games for unfair commercial practices. Basically, they were annoyed that the item shop would take advantage of kids. Phrases like "get it now" or "buy now" along with the timer were an illegal aggressive commercial practice, so now you can see why they removed it. A removal that was less sudden is happening right under our noses. As time goes on, live events are starting to be replaced by mini stories, like the opening of Pandora's box and the huge sandstorm that would follow months later. So before, we had to settle for one live event every year, and now they're becoming more frequent, but also smaller in size. Some fans are thrilled about this, and others wish we could go back in time where huge events were happening every couple months. One of the craziest removals took everyone by surprise. Fortnite literally deleted something that was the definition of lasting forever. Legacy rewards were handed to players for over 5 years, allowing us to log into a season and mark our achievements for good. They'd be stamped onto our accounts with the time and date, giving us something to look back on years later. It was basically the story of your account, and everyone loved it. Some legacies had Easter eggs inside, while others were so obscure that it was a huge achievement to get them. My favorite was being a Karen and speaking to the manager, or yeeting an enemy. It was full of jokes. You could also view your account level, which added up all your levels from the start of Fortnite. It was amazing. Sadly, these lighthearted features were secretly removed when Epic dropped a new UI for Chapter 5. But did you know that one of the most popular mythics of the Greek season was banned from competitive? The Chains of Hades already had a rocky start, with the item feeling weak and a little useless. A couple updates later, this would become one of the most overpowered items, as buffs kept coming, and at its peak, players were dealing like 240 damage in 3 seconds. Midway through the season, Fortnite removes all Greek items to make room for an Avatar collab. It felt
In this
strange,
video, I'm going to show
but
you
a
how
month
you
later, they were back in the loophole, including the Chains of Hades. This time, things will be different. Fortnite deleted the chains from competitive for the rest of the season, banning the item from all tournaments. Considering they're exclusive to the Greek theme, this was basically a death sentence, guaranteeing the chains will never return. When it comes to your favorite Fortnite outfits, there is a good chance their original design was totally different. Epic's artists will design a ton of different concepts before one is finally approved, and once it gets turned into a real skin, sacrifices come with it. For example, Aphrodite's first concept, where she had a completely different outfit. The hair, the overcoat, her shoes, almost everything was simplified in game. Well, sadly, that's the reality of game development. Concepts are just art. Bringing them to life is way more complicated. Now you know this, you'll never look at your favorite outfit again. They might have a secret edit style that just never released. As this video goes on, these will get harder to remember, like Creative Royale. Originally, this was supposed to let us create our own Battle Royale LTMs, except no one actually used it. Instead, players abused it so much it was broken every update, finding glitches and exploits at every opportunity. Epic were forced to shut it down at the start of Chapter 5, temporarily working on a fix while no one even noticed it was gone. For half a year, we kinda moved on with our lives until they announced Creative Royale was never coming back, staying deleted permanently. Okay, some removals are straight up embarrassing. Fortnite dropped a Ninja Turtles collab and then forgot one of the characters' names. In this crossover, they designed an entire song around the turtles, so listen closely. Even if you never watched Ninja Turtles, you probably know that Ralph is not one of them. Of course, they meant Raphael, or Raph for short, and this caused them to panic and replace this with a hidden patch. Rumor has it, you can still hear the Ralph version in Festival. It's a little awkward. For players who are new to the game, they'll have no idea that Fortnite has blocked them from some cosmetics. There is now an option to hide confrontational emotes, and most people don't realize it's on by default. This means toxic dances like Take the L or Laugh It Up are hidden, so you will never be able to troll noobs ever again. They can only see it if their teammates do it. One of the biggest collabs used to have an embarrassing detail. The main character of Avatar, Aang, was released with a huge plot hole. In the show, Azula strikes him with lightning, scarring him on his back and foot. Clearly someone at Epic is a fan because they included this detail in game, but only on his spine. If you checked his foot, you notice the other scar was nowhere to be seen. Okay, so we made a video to point this out, and Epic were quick to push an update. A couple weeks later, Aang owners would jump from the battle bus and notice the plot hole. Why? If you try and go here, it's full of rubble. Now I mentioned earlier that manholes have vanished, but at least there's another way to teleport around, right? Well, in the middle of Season 2, Fortnite disabled porta potties and dumpsters out of nowhere. They didn't tell anyone about it, and some fans think it has to do with an Icarus Wings glitch. And if you're the kind of player to build your own weapon, you might have realized that something is missing. One of the most popular attachments, the 2x scope. It was so useful. We were playing the Greek season only for it to vanish. Instead, this has been replaced by the new thermal sight, which is a pretty good replacement, I'll be honest. That's unlike vending machines, which Fortnite did dirty. At the start of Chapter 5, every time you landed somewhere, a vending machine would always spawn, and you never had to worry about it. Well, that's until now. Since the update, it's totally random, meaning your favorite spot just got a little worse. Not to mention, Fortnite also did this to the mending machines. Now there's only a tiny chance you'll find one, so for all you healing addicts, sorry to break the news. There's another secret change that has baffled players. Cameras can be found around the map, but they're super different. Now if you're spotted by them, they will mark you for everyone to see. It's basically like a flare gun, so people could spot you from hundreds of meters away. Note to self, next time you see a camera, shoot it. You won't see one at Ritzy Rivera though, because the entire place is gone. This huge POI has been crushed by the underworld. There's basically nothing left except for these pieces, which are being dragged into the ground by roots. It's kinda ominous. A change that will benefit players has secretly appeared at Snooty Steps. Originally, we could zoom around on the light strings, but if it fell, back to the lobby for you. Now Fortnite has removed fall damage from these grind rails, making it way easier and safer to get around. Players will also be happy to see that ballistic shields are gone. When we first saw these in the Chapter 5 trailer, it blew our minds. The idea of protecting yourself and shooting was awesome, especially for zero build players. If only we realized just how infuriating they could be. Half of the fanbase loved these, the others hated it, which is kinda symbolic considering each fight with them, it was totally one-sided. Another controversial item was the Striker AR. This was a new version of the SCAR that confused everyone. We all thought it was the OG rifle from a distance, only to get close and be greeted with this. Definitely a head turner, and now you won't have to worry about this problem because it's gone. I'm definitely surprised to learn that a useful weapon has been vaulted for no reason. The Anvil rocket launcher was perfect for taking on the SUV or whiplashes, and even though these are still in the game, the Anvil is not. Pretty weird, especially considering you can now summon cars at the shadow briefings. So it really feels like the Anvil could be a helpful tool. The last thing I expected Fortnite to change was Kratos. Since he released over 3 years ago, Epic has left him untouched, and now all of a sudden, when a Greek god season appears, they changed his face from brooding to straight up angry. If he does come back to slaughter some of our Battle Pass characters, he won't be able to use a lock-on pistol. I mean, it's not really Kratos' style, but if it's yours, you might want a different strategy. This was an older weapon that came back in Chapter 5, except it wasn't moddable and felt out of place, so naturally, Fortnite waved it goodbye. Pretty crazy, but I'm definitely not surprised that the grapple blade hasn't made it. Now we have Wings of Icarus. It's not exactly a fair comparison, one is so much better than the other. Most players agree, and that's why the grapple blade won't be missed that much. In fact, tons of people never realized it was gone. But another controversial item is the business turret. For some reason, they brought this back midway through Season 1, and the response was interesting. Noobs absolutely loved it, and that's exactly why the rest of us were not fans. Luckily, there were way cooler items to play with, making the turret perfect for removal. Players were definitely shocked, though, when they logged in and realized their outfit was disabled. Anyone using Jack Skellington had a random surprise learning he was blacklisted for no reason. For over 24 hours, they were banned from using their own skin, and Fortnite still hasn't said why. I think we could all agree it was a good idea to remove Crash Pad Juniors though. When they got vaulted last season, people were shocked because we already gave our opinion on this back in Chapter 4. Seems like Fortnite finally got the hint and didn't carry them over to Season 2. So fans are outraged over one change recently, and it all has to do with skins. Fortnite has spent years releasing bundles and collabs that don't break the bank. Dragon Ball Z had incredible value for money, giving you Frieza and Cell for 2,300 V-Bucks, or Goku Beerus and a pickaxe for 2,700. But recently, fans have noticed that bundles bundles are starting to skyrocket in price. The Avatar collab dropped in Season 2 and was extremely expensive. For a single outfit and pickaxe, it's 2,000 V-Bucks, leading players to get the bundle, which costs 3,200. Well, if you haven't noticed, Fortnite only sells V-Bucks in stacks of 2,800, and now bundles are over that price, so people are basically forced to get more currency than they need just to get a collab. A lot of fans are scared this is becoming the new norm. Even the Coachella bundle looks like a good deal from a glance. Only 3,000 V-Bucks for 2 icon emotes, 2 skins, a pickaxe, a wrap, and a back bling. Except this is where things get suspicious. If you look at the individual prices for the Coachella items, Fortnite are charging $1,500 for a single outfit with no back bling. For reference, the last Coachella skins were $1,200 each. Players think they're increasing regular prices to make the bundles look like a way better deal. It's a classic business strategy. And that is just the start of secret changes happening under our noses. Another time is when they changed a beloved storyline and caused it to make no sense. This whole time, Midas has been gone from the island, and we last saw him getting devoured by a shark. Since then, a ton of reskins have dropped, but they never explained why Midas had all these versions. Obviously, they weren't canon to the story. Things have gotten strange. Over 4 years later, Epic drops another reskin, Ascendant Midas, except it feels different. This version comes with the Zone LTM, and for the first time in almost half a decade, they bring back the official Midas storyline. But think about it, when you go back and look at your own work from 4 years ago, all you want to do is improve it. That's exactly what Fortnite did, changing Midas' backstory to sound incredible. After getting eaten by a shark, his soul was trapped in the underworld and captured by Hades. Not just that, but when Midas broke out of the underworld, Jules had to build gauntlets to control his golden touch. It's an enticing story that gets a little tainted when you remember Midas controlled it anyway, choosing when to turn things gold. All of a sudden, it's not true and we just have to accept it. And players are not accepting an update that has caused massive backlash on social media. Fortnite shocked everyone by deleting a feature that is over 7 years old. Since the minute Battle Royale existed, we all had rarities on our cosmetics. Cheaper skins were uncommon and basic, while legendary outfits were super complex and cost a ton more. This has always been the system. Eventually, rarities turned into categories, letting players sort their cosmetics by price at a glance. Even collabs got their own sections like Marvel, Gaming Legends, or the Icon series. Yet after this whole time, no one was expecting to log in, view their locker, and find rarities deleted. A huge part of the community is terrified that it'll affect prices. I mean, we already talked about how bundles are secretly going up, and now that you can't tell the difference between a legendary and a rare outfit, what does this mean for all item shop skins? Now, on the other hand, Epic addressed this concern, claiming it doesn't change their approach or the way they price things. Apparently, this was to simplify the appearance of Fortnite and remove outdated BR-inspired systems, but fans are still pretty mad though, considering this was community noted. That's not the only way Fortnite has done its 30. The Battle Pass has always been an insanely good value for money. 950 V-Bucks, and if you complete it, you'll earn more than what you spent on it. I mean, how cool is that? Except Epic has been sneaky. For the last couple of seasons, they have moved the V-Bucks tiers further and further away until finally putting them in bonus rewards. Now, finishing the Battle Pass gives you less V-Bucks than ever before. If you want the regular amount, you need to keep leveling up beyond that, reaching extra tiers. What I'm saying is, next time you feel like your V-Bucks count is running lower than usual, this is probably why. A change you absolutely didn't notice involves medallions. Yeah, they were completely overhauled in Season 2, but there was a secret update long before that. At the beginning, medallions looked like this in your inventory, a nice clean 3D icon. It really stood out, but within 2 weeks, these unique icons will be gone, replaced with flat 2D versions, and you probably never even realized. One of the strangest additions was the Coachella set. The skins look great and everything, but it also had an Icon series emote in the bundle. One of these was Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat, and as players went to view it, they realized the word devil was censored. This, alongside the actual swear words, meant that half the song was blanked out in the emote, which, I mean, it kinda sucked. In fact, the official radio edit of the song doesn't even censor devil. Fortnite must have got a different version from the record label because they immediately told us this will be reversed in the next update. A change that totally went under the radar involves gold bars. They've been in the game for quite a while now, so you'd think we'd notice if they were redesigned, except you didn't because it was so tiny. Originally, these bars had an Imagined Order logo on them because they were used during the Bounty Hunter season. Entire chapters passed, the IO were defeated, yet the logo remained. Well, till a random update in the middle of nowhere secretly changed this iconic symbol to an even more famous one, V-Bucks. A change that shouldn't have happened involves Zeus. As king of the gods, you'd expect him to be super powerful. Yeah, he looks pretty strong if I do say so myself. But then you look at his Lego version, something's different. He has a massive scar across his right eye. It is very noticeable, and yet on the regular outfit, this is nowhere to be seen. Fans also pointed to the sprays in the battle pass, showing Zeus with his missing scar and even a fake blue eye. Clearly this was a part of his concept art until the last second. Kinda like how they got rid of Midas's glasses days before release. I wonder why. If only they changed Mystique back in the day, because she is still proving herself as pay to win. Turns out, at the start of Chapter 5, Fortnite added a secret button, letting us toggle walk. This meant we didn't have to jog around or tactical sprint everywhere. There was an option to move just like an NPC. When you pair that with Mystique, it becomes overpowered pretty quickly. But even with this strategy, barely anyone knows about the walking mechanic.
Here we go, here we go. Yes! Let's go!
And we are tired of the constant changes to supply drops. These were untouched for the longest time, so when Fortnite replaced them with combat caches, it freaked out everyone. It felt weird to play a match without supply drops, so when they reappeared in Fortnite OG, it was like seeing an old friend. Except this joy wouldn't last long, as Chapter 5 immediately brought us back to the cache system. Fans were pretty annoyed, and our feedback was heard by Epic, who came up with a fresh way to bring supply drops back. Now these don't parachute from the sky in the middle of a game, you have to physically call them in using a briefing station. Honestly, I don't care what it takes, as long as combat caches are gone forever. Hopefully Midas isn't though. I mentioned how they retconned his story, but not how it ended. Turns out once he escaped, Midas met up with his old crew and took back the iconic yacht from 2020. It was updated from a society design to Shadow, and players were super hyped, wondering what would happen next. Would they upgrade the boat, maybe take it around the map? Nah, before we knew it, the crew had better things to do and left Fortnite's island for good. But hey, they're probably trying to get away from all of these juniors. Epic is slowly changing the way utility items work. Things like the crash pad were made smaller and less useful, giving it the name Crash Pad Jr. We thought this was a one-off kind of deal until they dropped another throwable, the Shield Bubble Jr. It worked like usual, but this time just a smaller dome. We have no idea why Fortnite is making tiny versions of old items, but they are, and it's starting to become the norm. I don't think the originals will ever come back. And I also don't think snipers will be the same. When Chapter 5 first dropped, these were everyone's go-to. You could pop enemies with a single shot. Yeah, it was OP, but it was also incredibly satisfying. This started to become a major problem though, and Fortnite had to do something about it. So they decided the best thing was to ruin snipers by adding huge bullet drops. The fall-off is super extreme and the bullet travels way slower, making it almost impossible to predict shots from a distance. Now, not all changes are bad. Fortnite has started to listen to fans who buy instruments. These cosmetics aren't nearly as popular as skins or pickaxes because you can only use them with jam tracks. Despite this, they cost more than some pickaxes, with guitars and drum kits going for 1,000 V-Bucks. If they were part of a collab like the Ninja Turtles, it would be even more than that. Eventually, Epic must have realized no one was paying for these and lowered the price to around 800, giving current owners their V-Bucks back. While Fortnite changes stuff like bounties to get more complicated, other things are made simpler. Every time you boot up the game on console or PC, you can expect to be greeted with the key art and theme music blasting. It still happens, but ever since Chapter 5, Epic changed this. Usually the loading screen will be updated every single season, but with the introduction of LEGO, Festival, and Rocket Racing, the art is now stuck as the metaverse of Fortnite. It's been 2 seasons of this, and players are worried we might only get a new one every year. But it's not just Chapter 5 that has changed the game permanently, because it's been over 2 years since reboot vans also got an upgrade. That last revamp had to spawn through a rift rather than directly onto the van. It was a pretty cool change and made you less vulnerable off spawn, although it means a lot of people have forgotten the old version. It didn't return with OG, and now they've updated them again. Before, the charge would slowly go down after canceling a reboot, but now it stays, allowing you to pick up on your progress or even your enemies. Even the NPCs on the island have evolved over the years. At this point, they are practically sentient. They used to just be characters you could find for quests, but over time got upgrades like selling weapons, instant healing, and rifts. Eventually, Epic gave us the ability to hire them, and this is where it started getting crazy. Hired NPCs would now have their own specialty, from recon to supply. They would not only follow you around and attack like a teammate, but even had abilities like dropping you extra loot. Just when we thought they couldn't get any better, we suddenly command them to wait, move locations, and they would even revive you. These guys are more useful than my friends. To top it all off, Fortnite just pulled off the most overpowered change yet. Usually you have to defeat a boss and guards to get a hold of a mythic, but in Chapter 5, Midas just straight up sold one. However, there was still a catch, only one in stock, so it meant first come, first serve. It's pretty well known that Vibin was a widely disliked season, but one of the best parts was the introduction of animal taming. After so long, we could finally take our befriended wolves and boars, letting us ride them around. It was a pretty fun feature, especially ramming enemies off cliffs with them, but it wasn't long before it got left behind and eventually removed. And recently, some players have found themselves chased by force ghosts. Okay, well, it's not Star Wars, but instead hologram NPCs. Epic updated them, so when you get eliminated, ones you hired would respawn as a ghost and slowly walk back to their original destination so people could still interact with them. But what about if you're still alive? It turns out, if just your follower gets killed, their ghost won't know what to do and will continue to follow you as a glowing hologram for the rest of the game. That shows everyone where you are, and the worst part, they can't even do anything to help you now. Not the only recent change either, Fortnite also dropped a huge rework to consumables. Chapter 5 made it so we can now walk while using them, but that also means you can't cancel it. Medkits and shields now work as you apply them, so if you stop, it'll just discard the rest, which a lot of players aren't happy about. And the same goes for Epic deleting tons of skins. When Fortnite was forced to add ratings to creative maps, it meant not all cosmetics were allowed. Any skin that was scary, had guns, or even bullets attached to them were all blocked from experiences rated under 12. Thankfully, Epic heard our complaints and lifted the rules on weapons, unlocking 99% of them again. But with the new restrictions, it doesn't look like they'll ever allow some of the best cosmetics in kids maps again. And if you thought that's the end of Fortnite's new changes, then you probably forgot about guns or even bullets attached to them. Everything blocked from experiences rated under 12. Now, even the locker. The community hasn't been too happy about the updates, especially since Discovery has so many problems. Thankfully, Epic is listening and working on some adjustments, but it doesn't look like we'll ever see the classic layouts again. I feel like sometimes they just like to remove fun. The icon emotes are usually viral TikTok dances or iconic memes like the Maya He emote. It was based on an old YouTube video called Numa Numa, but the description was originally a great reference until they changed it. Right before release, it was switched to a boring old sentence. I mean, come on, Epic. That's not even the worst update they've given an emote. Back in 2018, the rocket spinner was leaked, and one of the craziest we had seen, literally giving you a flying platform. Everyone was hyped to buy it, but when it dropped, it had secretly changed to a hologram. Back then, Epic worried about cosmetics looking like real items or weapons, so they made everything holographic. Fast forward to 2024, and we have emotes like this, so maybe we'll get the old version one day. Although there's no chance for old vehicles. Cars like the sedan will likely never come back now that we have customizable cars. Epic gave us a whole new section in the locker to choose a vehicle body, paint, and decals, so whenever you hop in a Whiplash, it'll transform into your custom car. It seems pretty cool, but this means they can never take this away, so we'll forever be stuck with the Whiplash and probably never see things like the normal sedan again. One feature you could count on never getting changed again has been with us for 2 years. Mantling was added all the way back with Zero Build in Chapter 3, and it hasn't been updated since. Now you'd think they'd take it away at some point, but considering we went back to Fortnite OG and it was still enabled, it looks like the feature is here to stay. Not all rarities are set in stone. Occasionally, Epic updates cosmetics over time to adjust the price or make corrections. But one of the strangest ones is a simple 200 V-Buck emote. Of course, I'm talking about Snap. It used to be uncommon and even had its own Easter egg with Thanos, but people loved it so much, Fortnite had to convert it to the Marvel rarity. Then they sold it alongside the skin, which was perfect. At least it doesn't affect the gameplay, unlike vehicle fuel. Originally, this was added to cars with the Joyride update, and it wasn't too bad until Epic took things way too far, making it required for everything. Boats, quad crashers, even choppas need to be fueled up. Just imagine parking a plane in a gas station. The worst part, most of them ate fuel, so you can barely travel the map before running empty. Now there was one change so long ago that most players never got to see it. Getting a win is great, but the screen used to look like this until Season 5, adding the new slow-mo and animated Victory Royale sign forever. Epic hasn't touched it since, but I don't blame them, some parts of Fortnite are just too iconic to change. They had no hesitation to ruin a pair of skins back in 2019 when players realized the toy soldier set was pay to win. These guys could blend perfectly into grass and rocks, going viral for enemies walking straight past them. Eventually, Epic had to step in, covering them in mud and making them much darker. But with 4 years of evolution from the cartoony graphics, people want to see the original styles back. I just don't know how I feel about it. One update that everyone forgets about is an item we have every game, the pickaxe. For half of Chapter 1, these only did 10 damage, meaning it would take a lot of swings to beat someone down. Eventually, they became useless as weapons with player skill increasing, so they got updated with double the damage, being able to elim someone in only 5 hits. One change that almost nobody has noticed is the lack of original dances. When the game started, they remade popular songs and dances with original music. But since Fortnite blew up and had multiple court cases over this, they decided to just license the real thing to make icon emotes, leaving the days of parody dances behind. Not the only insane change, because Fortnite once released an R-rated song. Fishy Flourish was a brand new dance or fish stick. It even came with its own music pack. But when it dropped, people noticed one line. Okay, it was definitely strange. So it took Epic no time to notice, and it was already changed in the next update. One thing Epic will never go back on is the most successful part of the Battle Pass, collabs. Since Chapter 2 introduced Deadpool, we've had at least one collab in every pass since then, from Iron Man and Darth Vader to Optimus Prime and Peter Griffin. And the community still can't get over the decision to make chapters end every year. Instead of spending 8 or 10 seasons on a single map, we are only given 4 before the whole thing is obliterated or lost to time. It has players feeling no connection to each chapter and their islands, but it looks like there's no turning back now. Although, we are still able to hear the old audio from Make It Rain. Right before the emote release, Epic changed the music from to this. One change that will forever alter Fortnite's history was all down to Donald himself. The 7 were originally planned to be alternate versions of each other from different realities, with the second introduced as Visitor Volta. Well, all of that changed when he was renamed to the Scientist, and every member was a completely different person, which if you ask me sounds like the right choice. The entire story could have been different. Kind of like the new movement animations that left a lot of players frustrated. We were all taken back by the change when we dropped in for the first time, with everything being slower and looking a lot more realistic. Turns out they were working on this for over a year, so there wasn't any turning back. Instead, they fixed the speed, making it faster again, but keeping the new animations for good. And the same goes for the design of the battle bus. Since the beginning, it's always been iconic, but it used to be a boring model with no movement. In fact, the most interesting appearance was the crashed bus in Chapter 1. We love this place and wanted to see more use out of Fortnite's most famous vehicle. Thankfully, Epic updated it over time, giving us a refined model every chapter. However, after the return to OG, it is guaranteed we'll never see the truly original bus ever again. When Rocket League vehicles first dropped in the shop, the prices were crazy, over 4,000 V-Bucks for a single car. With enough feedback from the fans, Epic was persuaded to change them, reducing the prices by almost half. Even OG Fortnite had some features missing when the season arrived, making a lot of players feel like it wasn't the true experience. From tilted towers missing an entire building to quad crashers not flying, it felt weird. The strangest one has got to be Epic using the Chapter 2 pump model, even after they showed the OG version in the art. Why you gotta mess with us like that? Yes, it is officially true, an entire rarity has been axed from the game. As you explore Chapter 5, you'll notice that keys aren't dropping anymore. They're gone along with the hollow chest they were used to open, but this has caused a massive feature to be secretly deleted. Exotic weapons, they are nowhere to be found in Chapter 5. In Chapter 4, you'd be minding your own business until a rift encounter took you by surprise. They always had an item worth taking, and we were excited to see the new encounters in Chapter 5. Well, about that, there isn't any. The whole feature is now gone, and no one knows when it'll return. Now let's talk about a change that nobody's noticed, which is hiding in ammo boxes. Most of us just open these and move on with our lives, yet if you paid attention to what you got from these crates, you would notice something is totally missing. In the past, whenever you opened a big ammo box, you would almost always get a shield potion from it. Well, not anymore. They are gone from Chapter 5, so you'll have to stick to floor loot for your precious heals. Fortnite has also secretly removed a game-changing feature. In Chapter 3 and 4, we had our minds blown by timber pines. These special trees could be cut down, and they would have physics rolling down rivers or crushing players to death. It was incredible, and we expected it to survive the upgrade to a new island. Well, we were wrong. The new map doesn't include a single timber pine. I didn't see that one coming. And I definitely wasn't expecting daily quests to be removed. You heard me right. Fortnite has disabled regular daily challenges, replacing them with the ones that appear at the start of a match. You only have 3 to choose from, and yet you still have to complete all of them to get the bonus XP. So instead of cranking out all your daily quests in one match, it has to be at least 3 separate games now. Not to mention, party assist is a no-go. Safe to assume players do not like this change. But they are happy to see the removal of Fortnite's most annoying item. Now that fishing is back, we can return to chilling on the dock and collecting some small fry. In fact, it's almost too relaxing in Chapter 5, so something's wrong. Well, Fortnite has secretly removed the most common fishing reward, rusty cans. Now, you won't be pulling this useless garbage out of the water. It is guaranteed to be a healing item, which is so much better. Fortnite puts a lot of work into these features, and that's why it's shocking when some of the biggest changes get removed after a couple months, like mud. This had so much detail and effort behind it. We were expecting mud to reappear in at least some Chapter 5 locations. It's just wet soil, they could add it anywhere, but I guess they chose to abandon it entirely. And even though slap juice has been removed, there's still a secret way to get it. You might have noticed that splashes and regular bottles are gone, but not the barrels. These are still scattered around the map if you need unlimited stamina. I just hope they bring back the slap splashes though, because they were insanely useful. But I really don't want to see the return of moving llamas. These have finally been added to the vault. We thought Epic got rid of them for the OG season and would bring them back in Chapter 5, but that's not the case. case. They must have seen how popular this change was, deciding to give us motionless llamas instead. It is just so refreshing to not chase these guys around anymore. Not the only feature that's been replaced, upgrade benches are nowhere to be found, and it's all because of weapon mods. I mean, obviously you could see this coming. If we could add attachments to weapons, what's the point in spending gold on a new rarity? Although in my opinion, they should have incorporated upgrade benches into these new modding stations, cause you'll spend all this gold just to be stuck with a gray shotgun. A feature that only lasted a few months was ruthlessly wiped from the game. Wilds brought us the jungle and a bunch of new features like these special plants. They would give a huge jump boost, slurp effect, create stink clouds, or even explode. We've all used them at some point for the shields, but now they are gone. The same goes for an item that Epic's made useless. With the new changes allowing you to heal on the go, the med mist was the only item that could do that. Now there's no point in keeping it around, so it's no surprise they removed it. And for any players that like to collect free items, the new change to rank rewards is horrible. Until now, you would get one easy quest for each match you play, slowly earning all the items. But now you have to play even longer because urgent quests have been removed entirely. Instead, now you gotta survive storm circles all the way up to a total of 99. Yeah, that's a lot. And you won't be able to rely on slurp juice to survive either. This was easily the most OP consumable of Chapter 4, acting like a chug jug, which only took half a second to use. Almost everyone had them and loved the new changes. Obviously it left for OG, but when we returned, most of us expected to see it back. It looks like Fortnite had other plans of vaulting the item instead. I will say this, I don't think anyone's complaining though, it was the worst to fight against. But it makes sense they're gone, especially when you realize you could get them from capture points. These things were a cool addition to Chapter 4, allowing you to mark a huge area for chests and enemies while claiming a bunch of high-level loot. They were honestly useful, so I'm shocked they've been removed from all POIs. It wasn't the only way to fly around in Chapter 4 either. We all got pretty used to the geysers. These are basically natural launch pads around the map and were amazing for mobility, but despite the fresh new island, there is none on it. At least you can still find random launch pads at the top of mountains. But don't expect to place any yourself, because traps did not make it to Chapter 5. Whether it's a launch pad, cozy campfire, or the iconic spikes, everyone loved using them in OG, but sadly, none have made it over. As one of the most controversial POIs of Chapter 1, the block was an incredible idea when it began. It allowed us to design our own locations and get them on the map. Sounds amazing on paper. Then one user added a graphic scene into a basement. Things went south quickly, forcing Epic to delete the original location and never bring it back. That doesn't mean community-driven features should all be removed though. In Chapter 1, we had item shops that would let us vote on who to add. It would give us a few options to choose from, with the winner immediately dropping and the others releasing later. For some, this felt incredible, like we had power, and the rest wanted all of them to drop at the same time. As a result, this feature only happened 4 times and has never returned. Still wasn't as exclusive as the Galaxy skin though. This was only for people who owned a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 or Tab S4, which cost between $700 and $1,000. People used to raid stores and play the demo phones to try and earn it for free. It was a big deal. Of course, as an exclusive, this skin will not be coming back, even if Samsung is joking about it on Twitter. Then we have a feature which never should have left in the first place. Throughout Chapter 1, Fortnite released a variety of toys to use, whether it's golf, basketball, bottle flipping, you name it. To date, they're the most interactive emotes we have ever had, and people love them. And so that's why it made no sense for Fortnite to stop releasing these. Now the OG island is back, only veteran players can take full advantage of the basketball courts and the soccer fields. When Epic deletes something from the game, they never talk about it, sometimes from embarrassment, like the removal of wasps. Yeah, in Season 4, the jungle was still here, but the annoying insects that filled it were suddenly gone. You were supposed to collect them in jars and use it as a weapon, but the damage was insanely low, so nobody used this, just like the Nitro Drifter. This came in with Mega City and was meant to be some kind of upgrade from the sedan, but let's be honest, everyone chose bikes instead. Now, a feature that overstayed its welcome is finally gone. You might have gone to your favorite drops like Mega City, Brutal Bastion, or Shattered Slabs and realized something's missing, and that would be the most annoying boss of Chapter 4, High Card. If you wanted to get into these vaults, this was the guy with the key card, and Fortnite rinsed him for months. Every new season, we'd expect at least a different boss or mythic, only for High Card to show up and disappoint everyone. They even got our hopes up for the Most Wanted event just for them to reuse him again. And thankfully, he is nowhere to be found in Season 4, but it leaves you wondering what happened to his vaults. Well, he must have taken the loot with him because they were all ransacked. We have also learned that Fortnite removed one of its named POIs, probably one of the least popular areas, and that's why Lonely Labs is missing from Season 4. Epic replaced this with a way better POI, Sanguine Suites. But it's kind of funny when you realize Lonely Labyrinth was just added weeks before it, so they put all that work in for nothing. I'm sure a lot of players will miss Lonely Labs, but no one is upset excited about the removal of grenades. Of course, it's one of the oldest items in Battle Royale, so we've had plenty of time to use these over the years. Thanks to this, Epic tried to spice things up and completely nerf them. Fans weren't happy, and the grenades were so terrible that barely anyone picked them up. Let's just say Fortnite learned the lesson, and that's why the item has been quietly deleted. It makes sense, but one thing is confusing everyone in Season 4. Over in the jungle POIs like Rumble Ruins or Shady Stilts, the vaults just let you in. Usually you'd have to do an elaborate puzzle to open it, whether it was sacrificing loot or choosing the right statue, but the heist theme has nothing to do with the jungles, so they could've just left it untouched, but they decided to delete all the puzzles anyway. And they really embarrassed themselves with the Dragon's Breath items. Let me explain. In the final update of Season 3, we got a new perk, Fire Armory. This gave you the shotgun and sniper instantly, which sounded great until an hour later when the perk was removed in a hotfix. It must have been added by accident because Fortnite didn't say anything about it. Last week they dropped yet another hotfix bringing Fire Armory back into the game. Well, I hope you enjoyed using it because once again, it is gone with Season 4. Now, if you're one of the players who love the snow biome, you might remember a frog at Lonely Labs. Feels super random, but Fortnite always throws in a cute little Easter egg. But if you tried to go here afterwards, the whole POI was, of course, gone. Don't worry though, they've actually saved the frog and you can find a stone version at Relentless Retreat. You also could have found a mammoth pistol if it was still there. Yeah, no one expected this to vanish in Season 4. Fortnite only added it a month before and it was insanely fun. When you get people across between the hand cannon and a flintlock, they're gonna love it until they nerfed this thing near the end of the season. The response was pretty mixed, but clearly Fortnite didn't want to touch it anymore, so they got rid of it instead. It reminds me of the explosive repeater. This was also pretty loved by fans with being overpowered at the same time, and it got the exact same fate. At this point, we need a happier ending, so let's seek out the Coral Buddies, except when you go to their island, it's not there. I mean, pretty understandable, there is a massive hotel here now, but what happened to the Coral Buddies? I know Kato Thorne is a vampire, but even he can't be evil enough to get rid of them. We previously left them with Triggerfish to give them a new sanctuary, but now they have both vanished. Even their conch is gone. Someone is missing from the island, and they are way more important than some Coral Buddies. Dr. Sloan made a surprise appearance when her abandoned tank was found in the jungle. She eventually released with a new skin and NPC, leading us through the entire questline with dialogue and missions. It's only for her to be completely absent in Season 4. I mean, sure, tank is there, but no Sloan. And that's just like the unreleased outfit that was never supposed to be found. Gabby LeMay's loading screen looks pretty normal on the surface until you see an alternate version with an extra character. This was clearly not meant to be out there because this guy has never been seen in Fortnite. Whether it's scrapped or simply unreleased, we'll have to wait and find out. Not to mention a fan favorite POI has also mysteriously vanished. When Relentless Retreat came out, it dropped in the ocean, so you wouldn't expect anywhere to be replaced, but compare it with the previous map and it actually took a big chunk out of the island. Thanks to this, a popular landing spot called Meadow Mansion got caught on the crossfire. Ouch. If you didn't notice it was gone, then you probably didn't land here enough, but there is an item that most people are happy to see vanish. By now we should know that every new Fortnite item is cursed, with the days that are either way too fun to get nerfed or way too broken and get vaulted. It's just how things work around here. One example is the kinetic boomerang. This was a complete disaster, going in and out of the loot pool until Epic finally brought it back for good near the end of the season. Because of these problems, players expected it to maybe stick around, but we should have guessed it was doomed from the very start. A goodbye boomerang would be sorely missed by a few people. Then you compare it to an amazing item like the grapple glove. It's a successor to the infamous fighting mythic, so of course, these were some big shoes to fill. Sometimes it's done that, but after constant nerfs and buffs, the fan base does have mixed opinions. Regardless, the glove comes and goes every season, and it fitted perfectly into the jungle biome. Swinging from tree to tree helped mobility so much, but you should have enjoyed that while you had the chance, because it's naturally vanished from the loot pool. Very similar to Chapter 4's largest POI. Honestly, for a video about things secretly removed, I gotta admit, this is not a secret at all. You can tell immediately that the Citadel is missing because it was gigantic, but it has major consequences. This was the home of the Oathbound, the place where the Riftgate had everyone speculating. A lot has happened here, and it felt like the center of Chapter 4 storyline, only for it to be replaced overnight with no explanation. Let's head back to the jungle biome, where one of the most useful items has been vaulted. In Wilds, everyone was expecting to get their hands on the cloak gauntlets. It was a total reskin of the Predator Mythic, but they actually improved it a ton. For all the work they put into this thing, you would expect it to last longer than 4 weeks. I'm guessing they removed it because of the new vaults. If you could just turn invisible and walk past all the henchmen, it'd be pretty overpowered. And people are also bummed out because the most popular location of Chapter 4 has been deleted. In the middle of the island, there was Slap and Go, a gas station that everyone landed at. I mean, it was always full of players and connected tons of POIs. Well, now if you drop here, there is nothing, and Fortnite knew how much we liked this place, so they left behind an Easter egg. Land here in Season 3, and it's turned from Slap and Go to Slap and God. I mean, they're really rubbing it in. And I feel like I woke up in a cold sweat when I saw this announcement. After years, harvesting tools has been replaced, but I should probably mention, it's just the name. Since day one, we've equipped them and seen the words harvesting tool in the corner, and now, for the first time ever, it's gone. They're finally just called pickaxes. Maya came out years ago and was the first ever customizable skin. So, the randomize button never existed, and when it came out, it broke everything. If a randomize landed on Maya, she would have a random style too, which would edit your customization from years ago. These were previously locked in, and yeah, Fortnite's fixed it, so for anyone who wanted to keep their new version, it has been reverted back to how it was before. But the biggest removal from Season 3's map is Anvil Square. This was one of the largest POIs when Chapter 4 came out, and last season it got even more interesting with the Attack on Titan collab. It was revealed to be inspired by Shiganshina, and one of the houses you could find Eren Yeager's family basement. Now all of this, along with the Thunder Spears, are impossible to find. But moving on, one of the coolest pistols we've ever had is the Flintlock, and it was actually usable during Mega. Some people had no idea because you'd only find it through a reality augment. It immediately gave you the Flintlock, which was awesome, but hold your excitement because it was nowhere to be found with Season 3. Epic removed the perk, and with it, the Flintlock is banished to the vault again. Another unexplained event was the Burn Bright emote. This could be earned for free during Mega, and it was a simple reward. Nothing too special, right? Except, whenever people used it, their game crashed, and the problem got so bad that Fortnite had to remove the emote until they find a solution. At least fights are less chaotic thanks to the removal of the most destructive weapon of Chapter 4, rocket launchers. You won't get obliterated anymore, and this also means Epic has completely vaulted rocket ammo. But at least you'll be glad to hear the most annoying feature in years has also been removed, that I think we're all celebrating. Previously, you would shoot someone, and within seconds they would rift out of there, making fights ridiculously frustrating. It was all thanks to the Riftjector perk. As soon as your shields broke, it gave you a quick escape, and people were abusing it hard. Now that it's gone, society can finally heal. The Cuddle Team Leader head was built during the Vibin season, and since then, it's remained on the island for as long as possible, even sticking around for a new chapter. We were all rooting for this place to go further, but just like Lil Whip, it couldn't survive Mega City dropping right on top of it. One of the best features of Chapter 4 was this secret snowball mechanic that appeared when you pickaxe the ground. You could hide in it, roll it down a hill, use it for cover. It was incredible. And for some reason, Fortnite has disabled it, thinking nobody would notice. Something that's impossible to miss is the removal of the Shockwave Hammer. Arguably the most iconic weapon we've had in years, and the question on everyone's mind was, will this appear in the future? Well, of course we logged in, and our local Oathbound chests were nowhere to be found, and I don't know if they'll ever return. I am still grieving over the loss of a beloved POI that was only in the game for a season, but became a fan favorite anyway. Faulty Splits had a bowling alley, a hot dog restaurant, and some destroyed offices, overall pretty unique. And historically, Fortnite has never removed a new chapter POI after just one season. But of course, Faulty Splits had to be the first. At least you can find the remains of this place for the rest of Chapter 4, letting us pay our respects. But if you use vehicles like a normal person, you're probably gonna be upset once you hear what Epic did to them. Now, thankfully, they didn't vault the classic ones, but they did remove Conker's tires, which have been in the game since the Primal season. It is a double slap in the face because cow catchers are gone too. These things were honestly pretty underrated, letting you tear through an entire POI without stopping. That's right, motorboats have been vaulted, meaning there's no way to speed around the rivers or spend all game fishing in the ocean anymore. The only time they've been removed was during events like Fortnite and Most Wanted, but now they're straight up gone. It's pretty crazy that they managed to survive 14 seasons, but items like the Guardian Shield only lasted for one. This was a lifesaver for zero build players, letting you carry an impenetrable barrier for all angles, not to mention the fact that it recharged. There is one secret removal that no one's complaining about. When Chapter 4 started, players had some strong feelings about the Excalibur. It was basically an explosive crossbow 10 times more powerful than the Boom Sniper. Not only did it deal 135 damage, but for a few weeks, it could shoot through walls. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna miss it too much. I can't say the same though about one of Fortnite's most revolutionary items. The Falcon Scout was only given to us a season prior, with memories of controlling the guided missile. But this time, it wasn't a weapon, it was a scouting tool. It allowed you to target and mark enemies, open supply drops, and even pick up down players. The thing was insane, especially when working with your teammates, but now it is gone, and we might never see it again. At least you could look at some Battle Pass rewards coming out soon. A lot of people weren't a fan of the mid-season drops last time, making you earn 10 levels for each style. So Epic changed it to quest rewards. Now they give you extra cosmetics for simply completing weekly challenges. But a lot of pros were unhappy when Fortnite announced that they were vaulting Late Game Arena once again. It was one of the most popular modes in the competitive scene, but for some reason, they hardly keep it in. With a brand new map, all anyone wants to do is explore it, but Epic has made that harder than ever by vaulting the most useful mode, Battle Lab. It wasn't just disabled, this has been permanently deleted from the game, meaning you can't use it to discover new locations, test items, or even mess around with friends. But one change that wasn't a glitch is the removal of the most hated animal. It looks like sharks didn't survive the entire island exploding, and I think people are gonna be happy about that. They were kind of annoying with them randomly attacking, stopping you from fishing, and having almost no loot. Not to mention the fact that almost everyone forgot you could ride them. In Chapter 3, we could rely on Chrome to repair almost anything, healing walls, cars, even people. It made the repair torch practically useless, but now they have both been removed. The Dial-A-Drop allowed you to instantly spawn a supply drop at your feet that could give you heals, weapons, or even a pickup truck. It was one of the most unique items in Chapter 3. It was in the works for years, only to be removed with no explanation. One of the craziest things happened in 2023 when Tidy was brought back after 4 years. This is already surprising, but then it got weirder because 1 hour later, it vanished from the item shop. Now, it had copyright issues in the past with Snoop Dogg, which is why it didn't release for so long. But Epic messed up again. Tidy was brought back with hippie skins, which is hilarious, but also pretty controversial. No wonder it was deleted so fast. Now, a lot of fans are saying that the most disappointing part of Chapter 4 was the Fracture event. It failed to answer a lot of questions, but there's actually a reason for this. In the files, people found deleted scenes from the event, and one of them includes the last reality. When the island got destroyed, a giant mothership was originally going to steal the 0 point, and that's until it fights back, destroying the ship and flying away. If this was cut, who knows what else Fracture had in store for us? That is unlike the Harpoon Gun, which has been vaulted for the first time since its introduction in Chapter 2. It was the best at fishing and even became a powerful weapon if you knew how to use it, especially when throwing your enemies off a cliff. And speaking of enemies, one item that totally overstayed its welcome has finally been removed. The IO car was a sedan with increased speed and fuel, but thanks to the island's destruction, they have been all wiped out. Now, Epic didn't just vault the best vehicle, they also secretly removed Chapter 3's greatest weapon. I'll say it, the Goo Gun was a super controversial item that was loved by some and hated by a lot of others. You could fire a trail of explosive goo that stuck to players and structures, absolutely melting them, so I'm sure some people are happy to see it gone. But that is unlike Fortnite's most disappointing mystery, which will never get answered. In Chapter 3, the Foundation statue had 2 stone doors that were completely sealed shut. We had high hopes they would open during the event, as these doors weren't affected by Chrome. But joke's on us, the entire thing has been deleted. The statue even appeared in a new loading screen, so Epic is just trolling us at this point. One thing you can't revert is the removal of D-launchers. They were great for flying across the map and taking no fall damage. I mean, they came in clutch when running from the storm and lasted just 1 season before Epic moved on. The Chapter 4 map also removed a key feature that you totally forgot about. Since the reality tree completely died, the sapling item was taken away from us and we won't be seeing them around anytime soon. They really changed up the gameplay. I mean, being able to find a guaranteed mythic, it was a little overpowered. Speaking of great loot, one of the best locations has been removed after 2 chapters. During Chapter 4's downtime, we spotted many different landmarks floating in space. One of them was the iconic pontoon boat, but despite being teased, it didn't make it to the island. Not only did this spot have the best loot, but gave you a huge kickstart with enough slurp barrels for your entire squad. Epic seems to love removing things that were only just introduced. The grapple glider was one of the final items to arrive in Chapter 3, but it has already been sent to the vault. It's not too surprising since hardly anyone used it because it was so much worse than the original and barely had any range. Now you can imagine how excited everyone was when we heard the motel from Chapter 1 was coming back. The sign was floating in space during downtime, and it seemed like the iconic location was finally making a return. But as soon as we loaded into the new map, it wasn't even here. And the same goes for No Sweat Insurance. We last saw it flying over the island, and the sign even appeared in space. But despite surviving so many events, they didn't make it through this one. Something that no one ever expected to get vaulted are tents. They've been in the game since Chapter 3 started, and while they've had countless bugs and been disabled, they have never been truly gone. That's until players launched into Season 4, wondering if their stashed items are wiped, only to find that tents weren't here at all. It's probably because they weren't really used much anymore, and with chrome blobs and evolving items, they'd likely just break the game. I wish that was the end, but we even lost our beloved Truckosaurus. Since the first day of Season 2, we watched as a pile of rusty cars slowly built up just outside Coney Crossroads. Peely even crashed an entire bus there for the body. We finally got all the pieces, and Truckosaurus started to emerge as the weeks went on. We got so far, and only the head and armor left at the end of Season 3, but suddenly it vanished. You probably forgot about the time we had a Ripsaw launcher. You can find it on the walls at the Logjam Workshop or in the normal loot pool. It was definitely a unique weapon and made for some pretty interesting gameplay, but now it's been removed. Season 3 also gave us back the Junk Rift. They were super fun to spawn a literal dinosaur or a porta potty on a player, and were especially good for taking out people in buildings. But now that everyone knows to simply run away from them, most players just weren't picking them up and were never really used. After we freed the 0 point, it also caused things to go pretty wild, but one thing it gave us was the 0 point fish. You could find them in any water around the island, and they gave you the insane ability to zero dash around, literally teleporting during any fight. Much as we love them, the chrome taking over has meant you can't catch them anymore. It was brand new for like 1 season and immediately vanished after it split the community in half. Some people thought it was way too OP with the insane fire rate, but others didn't like that you had to charge it up right in the middle of the fight, making it unreliable. Chapter 3 also brought us the 2-shot shotgun, and I think it's pretty safe to say the community really didn't like it. It was super slow to fire and didn't do enough damage to make up for it, so it has been removed. Another classic Chapter 3 weapon has also been sent to the vault, the Stinger SMG. This was another controversial weapon thanks to how overpowered it was, especially at close range. But I doubt many players are missing a gun that was practically never used. The revolver has been in the game since Season 2, but it feels like it never even returned. No one ever picked this thing up, so it's no surprise to see it removed. It is heading right back into the vault alongside the Combat AR. This gun was insanely fast, and it felt more like an SMG at times than an assault rifle, but it was pretty balanced with the recoil being ridiculously high. One item literally no one wanted to see leave was the Heavy Sniper. It comes just as Fortnite buffed them all to finally one-shot players again, and now it is being taken away. The MK7 was a game changer. Literally everyone came back in Chapter 3 to give Fortnite another shot, and the Mythic was even better. Season 2 absolutely nerfed it, and you would still be able to laser people, but now it looks like those days are over, at least for now. For now, you'll be happy to hear that a weapon everyone complained about has been snuffed. The most controversial shotgun, of course I'm talking about the drum shotgun. It had been in the vault for years until Season 3, and as soon as it came back, people began to realize exactly why it was gone for so long. This weapon literally tore the community in two, with some players loving it and others begging for it to leave. But with the war complete, that's not the only explosive entering the vault, because C4 have also vanished, and I gotta admit, it's a little sad to see them go. They were absolutely a fan favorite and super fun to mess around with, so we hope to see them make a return soon. Can't say the same for the airstrikes, which we only got to see unvaulted for a couple weeks before it was wiped from the loot pool once again. They were only really useful to force your enemies out of hiding, so I don't think too many people are gonna miss this one. Something that also can spot your hidden enemies was the thermal AR. It was re-added in Season 2 after it received several updates, making it faster and changing the thermal sight. With the season over, they returned to the vault, and even the Mythic version has been removed after the Huntmaster Saber boss was taken out, along with the rest of the Imagined Order. Other mobility items were also vaulted, such as the jetpack. They have major upgrades for Season 2, especially with the new ability to hover on the spot. It made them super overpowered. But since these were only found on IO Blimps and at the Collider, they have nowhere left to spawn, and therefore have returned to the vault. And it looks like you won't even be able to hop into a siege launch cannon anymore. Everyone loved the feature to launch yourself super far across the map, and they were great for mobility, but after Paradigm literally sliced the blimps in half, none of them remain, and they've been wiped off the island. Other turrets have too, like the light and heavy 7 turrets that we funded throughout the season. The 7 have taken most of their supplies away, along with any of the other items we funded, like the choppas. These will easily be one of the most missed vehicles since, we all love them. But Epic knows how popular they are, so hopefully we see them, or maybe even a new air vehicle soon. Some other vaulted weapons include the Ranger shotgun. Introduced mid-season, this thing only had 1 bullet before you had to reload, but it was pretty powerful, just not really anyone's first choice of shotgun though. What you might not have realized is that Season 3 has also secretly removed one of Fortnite's most divisive weapons, the LMG. For years, this thing has been in and out of the loot pool, and every time we can't decide whether we love it or hate it. Either way, this thing won't be coming back for a long time. But you might be happy to hear that one of the most hated items of Chapter 3 has been finally taken out of the game, the Hunter bolt-action sniper. Even though it has 3 bullets per round, it was one of the most despised snipers in the game for its low damage, especially that it wasn't a one-shot to the head. Thankfully, we now have the heavy sniper back as a replacement, but I mean, come on, Epic, we still need that one-shot headshot back. I'm sitting here choking on my own tears, trying not to throw up when I say Colombo, who warmed the hearts of everyone, has been removed. Not only was Colombo absolutely adorable, but he also worked as a permanent launch pad, and you can feed him anything for a chance to get a free item. Unfortunately, with Season 2's arrival, Colombo was nowhere to be found, with all traces of him deleted from the game. Even Clomberries are completely gone. They were one of the most popular things to come to Fortnite in a while, and the entire community loved them. And yet, after years of waiting for this feature to come out, nobody is talking about weather being removed. 18 seasons of waiting brought us lightning and tornadoes, an incredibly game-changing experience that clearly had a ton of hype, but apparently not enough to make it into Season 2. There's a great reason as to why tornadoes weren't kept around, and that's because of all the flying POIs that appeared afterwards. But when it comes to lightning, we got no idea why it's gone. And this trend continues with yet another weapon that almost nobody has noticed is missing. One of Fortnite's most infamous weapons was first spotted in Chapter 1 when it was accidentally added into an LTM, and then had some cameos throughout Chapter 2. Of course, I'm talking about the machine pistol. It finally got its official release in Chapter 3 Season 1, and players were loving it. After spending years waiting for it to come out, we thought it would stick around longer than half a season, but Fortnite had other plans. The machine pistol can no longer be found in the game, and whether it'll actually appear again in the future is uncertain. In Season 1, Fortnite introduced Crown Royales, where if you won while wearing a victory crown, it could be tracked through an exclusive emote. People finally had a fun way to show off their wins to friends, and everyone loved it. But suddenly, when Season 2 launched, Epic Games reset all crown counts, meaning that people who had hundreds of wins were put back to square one for absolutely no reason. This is what caused a lot of anger in the community, with people feeling super demotivated after they spent all that time grinding crowns just to be deleted. But not as broken as the first ever 100% llama spawn that was added in Season 1. The Chapter 3 map had a lot of secrets, but one of the most useful was at a small farm in the snow, which had a llama inside of it. It was super unique in the fact that it had a guaranteed spawn every single game, so this was a lot of players' favorite drop spot. Well, it sucks to be those guys because they dropped here in Season 2 to find that the llama spawn is now completely gone. We got no idea why Epic removed this one. It was just a really fun way to spice things up, so hopefully we get a new secret llama spawn in the future. But some items that were removed would have been super OP if they stuck around, like the flare gun. This is no longer in the meta, and if it was, it will be so broken. Nobody realized that Epic also vaulted Nathan Drake's treasure map. As a collab, it was obviously never gonna stick around, but people have already forgotten about it. It at least lasted longer than the Love Heart Sky. To celebrate International Women's Day, Fortnite added a huge heart-shaped moon, and while it had an awesome purpose, something as simple as a moon messed up the game massively. For some reason, the whole Fortnite island turned greenish. It had such a weird tint, and players hated it. It was kinda hard to see at times, and instead of addressing it, it was secretly removed with the start of the new season. And something we're still shocked that no one's found is the mythic goldfish. Let me tell you, this one is definitely a puzzle. One of the easiest things to overlook when a new Fortnite season drops is whether the rarest items in the game are still there. And in Chapter 3, the hardest thing to get your hands on was the mythic goldfish. This thing had a 1 in 10,000 chance of dropping, and there have been people out there who were fishing for weeks trying to find the Chapter 3 version of the goldfish. But sadly, none of them have succeeded. Another thing that people will definitely miss is the quad crasher trick. When we logged into Chapter 3 for the first time, we were shocked to see quad crashers just sitting there waiting to be used. It was an awesome surprise, and obviously the first thing everyone tried to do was fly with them. But not only did they invert the controls to throw us all off, we also realized that flying was much harder to do than before. And there's a reason for it. Epic secretly nerfed the flying trick so you can't do it infinitely anymore, completely vaulting the feature from the game. Raptor. Raptors. It's safe to say that a lot of players are going to be overjoyed to know that Fortnite's Raptors are now gone. These guys were awesome when they were first added, but recently they became pretty annoying, especially when bundled with every other wildlife in the game. And considering they weren't much help to us, Epic quietly yeeted them off the map once Chapter 3 came around. Another feature fans love that was removed is shakedowns. If you dropped into Chapter 3 and thought something felt like it was missing, it turns out something was. Especially when you go to pick up a downed teammate. On day 1, we were also fascinated with the new squad revive mechanic, that nobody noticed the shakedown feature was completely missing from the game. Epic removed this without telling anyone, and we only realized when some keen-eyed players pointed it out. And so while everyone has been focused on that, nobody is talking about the Hunter's Cloak. By far, one of the most forgettable and random items we've had in the last few years has been the Hunter's Cloak. This thing was useful for a solid few days until everyone forgot about it, and then it was vaulted in late Chapter 2. And then out of nowhere, Epic Games brought it back in the final few weeks of Season 8, and you were able to craft it for like 4 meat. But with Chapter 3, it turns out you can no longer do this, meaning the Hunter's Cloak is officially vaulted again. But another thing everyone forgot about was nuts and bolts. Yeah, the community has completely overlooked the fact that nuts and bolts have been removed from Fortnite, with most people forgetting they even existed. They were added back in Season 7 so you could collect them to upgrade your weapons, except we were so used to picking them up and not thinking about them that nobody noticed they were completely gone in Chapter 3. While we all thought the shopping cart was in Season 8 for a short while, it had nothing on the Icy Grappler. This was a limited time exotic weapon that was only around for less than a month. It arrived just in time for the winter season, and then when Chapter 3 released, it never stuck around. We all thought that with Chapter 3's map being 50% snow, we'd at least keep the Icy Grappler, especially for the holidays. But no, Epic didn't think it was worth bringing over. Some of the rarest items to ever be seen in Fortnite include the Mythic Mushroom, which was only in the game for 2 months. It had a 1 in 10,000 chance of spawning and gave you 100 shield instantly. Barely anyone remembers this, and it wasn't even the craziest mushroom to be deleted out of nowhere. But the mushroom would follow you around and heal you, only appearing in game for a single day. You had to bribe this guy with 100 wood, then he would become your buddy for 10 minutes. It was super broken and was clearly the first experiment with hired NPCs, which are the modern equivalent. Definitely not the shortest appearance though, that belongs to the Eye of the Storm tracker. It gave players the ability to see the next circle and was only enabled for 30 minutes. Just a handful of matches had the chance of finding it before it was deleted forever, being turned into Storm Scout snipers, forecast towers, and perks years later. You also shouldn't expect police cars to make a return. These were just decorations around the map until Chapter 2, and for pretty understandable reasons, they were quietly vaulted and never came back. We caught a glimpse of it in the canceled tutorial mission, and there were drivable police cars in the files, but those are now completely gone. And we also don't have to worry about spike traps behind every door. It was one of the most terrifying parts of early Battle Royale, and people made some very impressive trap towers with them. They came back with Cypher PK's Mythic for a few days, but it didn't mean anything, as they have been gone ever since, with traps as a whole getting phased out. It's a sad story, but it wasn't as sudden as the removal of 100% chest spawn. For the longest time, you could land somewhere, know exactly where all the loot was, and use that to calculate the best drops. This led to the popularity of places like Tilted and Pleasant Park. Until 2020, when Fortnite decided to make things luck-based, removing the 100% spawn rate. It was super controversial, leading players to drop somewhere and find absolutely nothing, which ruined the whole game. Still not as embarrassing as Fortnite's first controversy. In 2018, they dropped Season 6, including this skin, Calamity. Players quickly noticed that she had a unique feature that was completely hidden from the patch notes. For some reason, Calamity had jiggle physics that came out of nowhere. As soon as this was pointed out, Epic deleted it and said it was an unintended feature. These physics were simply an embarrassing accident, which we totally believe. But did you know about the forgotten default dance? We are used to having 2 songs, but if you've been playing Fortnite since day 1, you might remember that it included a 3rd version. This was removed because the song was inspired by George Michael's Faith, and if there's one thing Epic are known for, it is getting sued for emotes. We're pretty happy about one removal though, team killing. If you played in Season 1, you could actually deal damage to your teammates, even eliminating them if you felt like it. Every single game you were watching your back just in case your friends decided to troll you. Quickly they realized this was a bad idea, and Epic were forced to remove this in Season 2, but that didn't stop it completely. Over the years, we've had multiple ways to pull this off, like abusing cannons to launch our friends into the storm, or swapping seats in cars. In fact, at one point, Fortnite broke for a day and accidentally enabled team killing out of nowhere. Another understandable change took Fortnite by storm in 2019. Back then, it was super common to change a resolution to insane numbers, giving you a ridiculously stretched screen. This made enemies wider and easier to hit, which may or may not be true, but Epic were scared of the possibilities, so why risk it? As a result, they banned it from all tournaments in Season X, and pros tried to boycott the game, but now in 2024, we mostly accept this as a worthy removal. Even simple items can cause a huge problem, like the boombox in Chapter 1. Let me tell you, this thing absolutely obliterated structures, basically making Zero Build all the way back in 2019. Obviously, it wasn't great and fans weren't happy. After a massive backlash, Epic listened to players' feedback, vaulting the item permanently, and it didn't even return for OG. What about the biggest removal of all time? Something which still affects millions of people to this day, the downfall of Fortnite China. In the early days of Battle Royale, it was ridiculous. The separate version of Fortnite had no microtransactions, a free battle pass, and a time limit that allowed everyone to win the game. That's until everything vanished, and millions of Chinese players had their accounts deleted with no way to save their progress. Imagine if this happened worldwide. That is literally years of collecting skins gone overnight. Congratulations, you have just learned everything that was secretly removed in Fortnite, even items that no one remembers. Let me know how many you did. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.
Welcome back to another Power Fortnite Unreal Speedrun. Today, once again, it is 2 teams of 5 that will go up against each other to see who can get the closest to Unreal.
So we've got Team Lucky and Team Loserfruit, and we are going to do a draft pick. Let's get to it.
She gets to go first because she lost last time. There's also going to be a mystery prize as well for the winning team, so stakes are on.
Is it a good mystery prize?
Mystery prize. And there's also a lot more different things in this video as well. You see, during each game, at a random time, teams will hear a buzzer, and they have the option to abandon their setup and race to hit the button, which will randomly select either a nerf or a buff. And to make it more of a challenge, this time we decided to start at gold 1, because let's face it, those bronze players were too easy. Draft pick number 1, Loserfruit. Who's the first up for Team Red?
Alex, get it.
Wow. Whoa. And obviously, I got to reply with this duo. Worthy, get over here.
What about your duo?
It's on.
Luda.
A team that wants me.
This person, low-key, could have been draft pick number 3. It's Winter. He's done so many. Unreal speedruns.
Got to bring back who I had on my team last time. Over!
Welcome to the team, mate. Hey, happy to be here.
Mitch, get over here. Come on, yeah, come on. Who's gonna be last?
Timmy, stand up.
And then sit back down.
And sit back there.
Because you're on our team! So I don't want anyone to die here today.
Yeah! Let's go! Come on!
Let's go, Lufu.
Let's go, Lufu! Let's go.
She doesn't have a bind to search. Oh my god.
Oh no.
All right, locked in.
Lock in, bro, lock in. Grimgate, it's gold 1, bro.
Surely not.
Bro, it's gold 1. If you lose your off spawn to Grimgate in gold 1, you're trolling.
He's speaking facts, though.
Oh!
It's game over.
That might be the worst Grimgate drop I've seen.
I think I'm still winning. That guy's.
No, that guy's terrible. No, you've actually got best drop here.
Is he too low? He's too low.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You got this. He'll open the chest, you steal the gun. No, he gets it. Uncon. Go for barrels, sure.
Yeah, barrel's right below you. Let's go, Luca, dude.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Put that gold pass to work.
The aim is insane.
Oh, he's good. He's actually chilling.
No! 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 No!
Wait.
I didn't think he was gonna be there. That's crazy.
I think we've lost.
I heard him. I was gonna build a wall, and then I didn't build the wall. Oh, we forgot to mention, each team is provided with 1 reboot card. We decided to use ours now because I died off spawn. If you die before top 50, you get a reboot. Don't worry about it, everybody. We're still gold 1 with 1%.
Lock in on the drop, okay, this time?
Are we on again? Is it here?
Yeah, it'll be like the same.
All right.
Bro, if that's the case, I'm sending Grimgate game 1.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, nice. Nice, Lufu. On you.
Run!
All right, now I need to get the key on.
Nah, bro, nice! Silver player down, dude. Let's go. Oh, Billie Eilish? Oh, Billy don't know what's about to hit her. Oh, yeah. Nice!
What is that?
Is that Vin?
Wait.
Oh.
We hit them,
baby! It's getting really loud in there, bro.
Can you hear them, Luvu?
Yeah, they're so cringe.
Bro, Mocky probably hit like a shotgun shot in the head and they just went
Yeah,
crazy.
probably just got like 1 kill and they're hyping up their life.
Yeah, like for real.
Wait.
Oh! What's bro think he's doing? Double whammy!
Let's go, Lucifer. Let's go, Lucifer.
Nice.
Let's go.
Get another one on the board.
Yeah, but there's someone else. There's someone else.
5 ending.
That's my video like that.
Go.
I'm gonna die.
Wait, what? The 6?
Let's go! What do I get?
Lufu, did you hear the beat?
Do you hear the beat?
No.
Rocky!
Wait, can I shoot it in your hand? I'm curious.
Yeah, Bennett! Can you get me, please? Bennett, go! Bennett! Bennett! Shoot the trash! Shoot the trash, Bennett! Bennett! Pick me up!
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. John, revive me! What the heck is happening?
What are you doing?
I'm not the hero they want me to be.
You're not actually Batman.
I'm Batman.
Ding, mother.
No, more. Actually, I don't know. Oh my god! What just happened?
Xbox player, come get me, bro. Right here, come get me, please. Bro. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna join back. Dark, stop.
Beat him to the wolves.
No,
Beat him to the wolves.
Oh, friend.
Houston, we have a problem.
There's no way. What the? No!
Look at this dude.
Not bad.
Hello there.
story of Obi-Wan Kenobi ends here.
Yes, I know.
Please, try to run. Jedi scum.
Oh no.
I could so be annoying and turn around and hit Logan.
I almost did that to do.
Ah! Wait, so I can fall damage?
Want me to toss you out first, or?
Yeah, toss me out.
But if I die?
No!
Whoa!
Oh my god. I was just in a baller and got
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, another one. Oh, 3! What the?
What a loser.
Oh, what? Oh, I actually feel bad. What? Okay, well, I think fate's decreed that that default needs to live.
Oh my god, my parents are dead.
You serious?
Target locked.
There's no one here.
I can smell you.
Stop right there, criminal scum. All right.
Where's my money?
Let me see your identification. We don't need to see his identification. Do you know what's going on? These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Whoa! Pick me up, I'm stuck, I can't move! Kid, if I die, I'm backing out, and I'm blocking you.
My favorite glitch.
Me too, I can't move! And I'm just burning on fire like the Human Torch. Bro, well, Epic, fix your game, or I'm uninstalling.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting weapons.
Yeah, baby.
Surprise!
No. Come on. No. Why do you gotta give me packet loss? Please let me move. There we go. Oh my god, dude. I was gonna be pissed if I died that way.
Oh, there's another McLaren right here. I can get it, and I'm gonna bring it to Mingo. Oh! The mech landed on me! Oh my god!
That makes so much noise.
6.5 hours.
No way.
Oh, wait.
What the f? How did you even know?
I didn't.
Yo, I'm about
about to do the thing from the trailer. I'm about to do the thing from the trailer right here. Look, look, look. Yay! Oh, it actually works.
I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna do it too.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
I'm gonna do it too. Watch me, watch me, watch me.
I'm watching you, I'm watching you, I'm watching you.
Superhero landing.